Alright guys, so for today's guide we're going to be going over Luna, and this is going to be a pretty complete guide for Luna. In this guide we're going to be showing you her mobbing build and her buffing build, and you can use these in a lot of different places. So having said all that, let's hop into the video. Alright guys, so this is the part of the guide where we typically go over the Descendant's weapons, but realistically Luna's weapon doesn't matter all that much. Because she uses her own unique weapon when she's in her skills, and you should be in her skills the whole time, her weapon isn't going to really matter. There are a few nice things to have on any weapon you decide to use for, and we will go over those, but at the end of the day, it realistically doesn't matter which weapon you put on Luna. When it comes to the mods to put on this gun, just go ahead and slap on as much mag capacity as you can. This does translate into more rounds for her unique weapon. Outside of that, really you can put on Brisk Walk. This will kind of speed you up a little bit, but you don't have to. You'll have more mod capacity than you need either way, so you might as well just go ahead and do it. When it comes to a reactor, it really doesn't have to be a matching type. She's not going to be doing any damage, so you're not getting any bonuses out of having it be a matching type, so don't really worry about it too much. When it comes to the roll on it, I went with duration up and cooldown, and this is what I would suggest you go with, but if you guys think that there's a better roll, definitely let me know down in the comments below. So for the components, we really want to go for the Hungry set here. This set bonus really synergizes well with Luna's kit, and you'll understand a little bit more when we talk about her skills. But the main reason it synergizes so well is because it does increase your max MP. So outside of having this set, the main thing you want to worry about is your sensor here, and you want to make sure it also has a gold MP with as high as you can get it. Outside of that, just do what we typically do here and just try to get as much MP recovery as we can. This is just going to help keep your MP up and make it to where you don't have to worry so much when you're out there in the battles. For your fellow, just go ahead and go with the sheepdog. You're not really going to need the ammo that you get from the golden retriever. I know this isn't a really big thing, but I just want to throw out what type of dog you should be using, just in case people are unsure or trying to decide if they want to farm the new dog. For the inversion reinforcements, there's actually not really a lot here good going on to help your build, so we just kind of picked the best of a bad situation. Go ahead and pick up neural focus augmentation, risk mitigation protocol, and blood density augmentation. While none of these are really going to impact you that much, they are somewhat of a bonus and they are worth having just in case. For your Arche Tuning tree, this is what we're going to be looking at. We're trying to get as much MP as we can, just because her skills really do scale off max MP. So make sure we get as much as we physically can in the tree. Outside of that, we're just going to pick up a little bit of health and a little bit of defense, because there's not really a lot of other great options with her buffing build. And this will just help keep you alive, which is always nice because you can find yourself in some pretty interesting positions. Alright guys, and this is what the actual build looks like. This is what we're running when it comes to her buffing build. As you can see, we are using aggressive melody in this build because we are buffing firearm damage. Once we move past that, we're really doing everything we can to increase the range, get the duration up, get the cooldown down, get her a little bit of HP, and then just pump her MP. Her skills scale off of her max MP, so we want to get her max MP as high as possible. When you round all that out, this is the build that we end up landing on. Now if you decide you want to buff skill damage instead of firearm damage, the build doesn't really change that much other than the red mod. So go ahead and swap out the red mod for nimble footsteps and run essentially the exact same build. Now right about now is typically the part in the guide where I show you how to use Luna and how to run this build. Unfortunately, we have an entire other build that we need to go over, so we're going to go over that first before we show you how to run the other build. Now as we've already stated, the weapon doesn't really matter that much, so you're going to use essentially the same weapon that we used in the last build, but where things start to change is with the reactor. And with this reactor, we are going to switch it over to being a singular reactor, and we really do want it to match on our weapon type, and we really want it to be singular because most of her skills are singular damage. Outside of that, we are going to go ahead and look for a crit damage skill effect range on this. We want to try to get her range out as much as possible when it comes to her mobbing build. For the components on Luna, with this build, we are just going to go with the tried and true Slayer set. This is a set that you probably have laying around from a handful of other Descendants. This is what you really want to use with her. On the sensor, definitely go for max MP and MP recovery. On all the other ones, try to get as much MP recovery as you can. And on your processor, it doesn't get MP recovery, so just go with a double shield on that. So for the dog here again, we're just going to go ahead and use the sheepdog. We're going to be using Luna's unique weapon, so you're not really going to be using anything else. So just use the sheepdog to help keep your HP up. So when it comes with her inversion reinforcements, this is what I typically run on her. We are going to run biodensity augmentation, Arche circulation tactic, and adrenaline rush. While some of these skills themselves aren't that important, the overall large buff you get at the end of the tree really does help. Using Arche circulation tactic does give us access to area burst inducer, and this is just going to add a little bit more damage when it comes to what the enemies are taking, and this is always a nice bonus to have. So adrenaline rush is going to give us access to quantum domain, which is going to give us a little bit more skill range. The nice thing here is if we are a little bit short in maxing out our skill range, this will push us over just that last little bit and make sure we are hitting the top of our range cap. So when it comes to her arcade board, this is what I like to go for her mobbing build. It really does scale up her skill damage, and that's really what we want to go with. Outside of that, we do run up to the top and we grab the additional crit hit both rate and damage. Now when her skills fully run up, there's a good chance that your skill crit hit rate here is going to be over capped, but this does allow us to hit that 100% earlier and means that we don't have to worry about fully stacking out as much, which can be kind of complicated, especially if you're not really good with her skill weave. So when it comes to her mobbing build, this is what I personally like to go with. There's a lot going on here and we really want to make it all work. We're really going to build into the skill crit hit damage and the skill crit hit rate. As you can see, we prioritize skill crit hit damage over skill crit hit rate because of just how much her skills actually give her crit hit rate. Outside of that, we push the range as far as we can get it, and then we round out the build with maximized skill. Now, maximized skill is a double-edged sword. It's really going to give you a lot of additional skill damage, but it's going to make the cooldown on missed notes much longer. So if you find that you're missing a lot of notes, you can always switch this out for something that lends itself better to your playstyle. But for me, I really like having the extra damage and I try not to miss skill notes, so this really just gives me the most bang for my buck. Alright, so we're going to be going over the skill loop for how to use the buffing Luna. So the first thing you're going to want to do is pop your 1. After you pop your 1, you're going to have to build up your bar down bottom, and you're going to have to do that by hitting notes. While hitting these notes, go ahead and rotate between your 2 and 3. Rotating your 2 and 3 is going to give you 2 different buffs at the same time instead of 1 buff. Now once you fill your bar up down bottom, go ahead and pop your 2. This is going to get you your first enhanced song. Now while this enhanced song is up, if you play any other song, it will cancel your enhanced song. So be very, very careful when you get your enhanced song up. Now when it comes time to go ahead and refresh your enhanced song, you're really gonna want to utilize your 4. The reason we're utilizing our 4 is because as we shoot enemies with our 4 song up, we actually refill the bar down bottom faster than we do by rotating our 2 and 3 song and hitting notes with them. And this is by far the fastest and most efficient way to fill up your bar down bottom to be able to repop your enhanced song. When you get that bar filled up down bottom, go ahead and repop your enhanced song. For us, we're going to go ahead and re-enhance our number 2 song because that is the song that most people are using with this buff build. And this is essentially the gameplay loop for Luna. If you want to understand this a little bit better, you can always check out the video that I made on Luna before, as I go into a lot of detail on how this works and why it works this way. Now, one other thing to note here is that we do start out doing our 1 and 2 rotation, but we do that because there are no enemies around. If for whatever reason you turn off your song and then turn it back on, or you wait to actually start filling up the bar down bottom and there are enemies around, you can go ahead and just use your 4 and use your 4 to fill the bar up first. It will be much faster than rotating skills, as there is a little bit of a cooldown in how fast you can use one skill and another, and this will bypass that and let you hit every note. Alright, now before we end this segment on how to use your buffing Luna, there are 2 other things that you really need to know. And this is going to separate a good Luna from a great Luna. So hopefully you've made it to this part of the video. You really need to pay attention to this next part. Now, we are running Arche concentration. And if you haven't looked at the skill, you really need to. There are a lot of words on here, and some of it's not going to make sense to you, and that's perfectly fine. But what you need to know is that this is a pretty good buff. The big thing to note is that the stack duration is 20 seconds. Keep that in mind. It lasts for 20 seconds. Your enhanced exciting performance lasts for 26 seconds. So if you wait to pop your enhanced version of this song until that 26-second window is up, you will lose stacks of your Arche concentration, and you will lose all of the progress you have been building to with this particular mod. So while you do have 26 seconds to refresh the buff on your team, you want to try to do it earlier than that, and you want to try to do it ideally well before the 20 seconds is up. All right, guys, so now we're getting ready to talk about the skill weave for the mobbing Luna. There are a few things I want to go over before we get into this, and that's going to revolve around her skills. Her skill 2, her skill 3, and her skill 4 all do the exact same thing when it comes to the enhanced song. So it doesn't really matter which enhanced song you proc, just make sure you're proccing an enhanced song. The important part here is that your 2, your 3, and your 4 all give you their own unique buff, and they have max stacks. You want to try to maintain max stacks on all 3 of these if possible. Your skill 2 will give you skill crit hit rate for every stack that you have, and this goes up 13 times. So this is a pretty good buff to your skill crit hit rate. Your 3 is going to increase your skill crit hit damage, and this works the same way. You're going to want to try to stack this up to where you have 13 stacks. And your 4 just gives you straight skill power modifiers. This is another one that you want to stack out. So when it comes to her mobbing build, it does function a little bit different than the way her buffing build does. So this is going to come down to personal preference. But for me, I like to get my skill crit hit rate up first, and I like to get it up as high as possible. After that, it's up to you if you want to do the skill crit hit damage or if you want to do the skill power. So for me, once I pop my number 1, the first thing I'm trying to do is get my enhanced song, and I'm trying to get 13 stacks on my number 1. You can see we just got 13 stacks on our number 1, and it does a little bit of AoE damage. So now we've got our enhanced song. The main thing we're going to do is, now that we have 13 stacks on our 2, we're going to rotate our 3 and 4 and try to get them stacked out as fast as we can. Again, it doesn't matter which enhanced song you pop, but you do want to pop any enhanced song that you can. Now we are going to go ahead and refresh our stacks on our 2, and then we're going to go ahead and reset, trying to focus on getting our 3 and 4 stacks stacked out. Once we have everything stacked out, then it just becomes a rotation of our 2, our 3, and our 4. She plays a lot different than other characters, but it is kind of fun. The hardest part is just getting all of your stacks up and running. Once they are up and running, she does an immense amount of damage, and she has really good range, and she can hit a lot of different things on the battlefield. Alright guys, and that's it. That's everything you need to know about playing Luna. Luna is a very intense and a very scary character to play because of her DDR minigame. A lot of people really shy away from her, and they don't take the time to learn how to play her. But I can tell you, if you do really learn how to play Luna, you can be a huge benefit to any team you run with, or you can do some pretty good mobbing and get to watch Luna dance at the same time, which is ultimately a pretty big win. But let me know down in the comments below if there's something that you guys do different in your builds or in your skill rotation. Love to help out the community, and anytime we can generate a good conversation is always a great thing. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and as always, we would love to see you over on the live channel, so definitely come see us on Twitch and hang out. We've got a great community, and we'd love to get to know you. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and have a great day.